we got to go and ball. There is nothing else to it. Everything else has been done. We have to go and take care of business, and that's what Belgium should be worried about right now.
Do you think it could be something that potentially brings this Belgium team together?
It's one of those things where Belgium is saying it's us against the world type of situation, and they go out there and perform in a way to just hush the noise.
I mean, I know you're not a big basketball fan, but I'm gonna give you a reference. You know who Kevin Garnett is, right? He says, "Ball don't lie." At the end of the day, like when you draw, though, everyone steps across the white line, and we go and play football in 11 against 11 with the additions of the subs. None of this noise is gonna matter. Yeah. Like whatever's written already by God is already going to be decided. So whether Flo Balogun goes and has a great performance, or as he goes and gets the winner today, whether Belgium absolutely wiped the floor with the US, that was already designated. This is all just a subplot to what the actual main event is. At the end of the day, it's still going to be decided on the pitch. No ball has been kicked yet, and we're sitting there confused as to whether or not a player is legitimate, should be playing or not. Like, go and decide it on the field then, because if we were sitting in the Belgium changing room right now, I'd be like, I don't care if he plays, if he doesn't play, if he plays 60 minutes, if they hook him off,
you'd rather
if they
play.
reinstate him. Let's go.
Put him on the field.
Let's go and decide it right there and then. In fact, I would be like, I want him to play, so that there's no confusion as to who the better team is.
Yeah. We're already seeing it, though, affect football. It's only been out for 24 hours, but even in yesterday's game, England versus Mexico, Thomas Tuchel came out about Kwanzaa's red card after the game, saying, well, can we appeal this now? You know, it's causing a lot of confusion, and it's only been out for 24 hours. But why don't we get back to the game that we're about to see, US versus Belgium? We saw a friendly in March. Belgium beat the US 5-2. Darren, do you think it will go similar tonight?
No, that was such a different tactics, different.
You're not worried about that?
No, the vibes were not high in camp going into that match, let alone into the World Cup. It's completely different stakes, completely different personnel, completely different mentality from this U.S. side and Belgium as well. I think that they're actually struggling with confidence. Yes, they've made it to where they are, but this isn't a team that's performed that great in this tournament so far. And I think if you look at performance by performance, the U.S. has actually done a lot better and come a lot further than Belgium has. They've sort of plateaued. They faced a very different U.S. squad. And the fact that it's on home soil, the crowd backing them, all of this issue in the media, the fact that we're talking about it, I think that it's just even more motivation for both of these sides. I think you both said it well. Once the game starts, it's the game. That's all that matters. But I think it's going to be much, much more competitive from the U.S. end than what we saw in that friendly.
Rodney, how do you see it going tonight?
It's going to be a battle. At the end of the day, it's about the quality on the field. We talked about when that whistle blows, it's football. So Belgium versus U.S., Balogun's going to be on the field. Everyone has to get over that. And as a matter of fact, we want to have Balogun on the field. As a fan, you want to have him on the field. If you're a Belgium player, you want him on the field. If you're a fan of the Belgian national team, you want him on the field. So this is going to make for an incredible story, regardless of what the score may be for the U.S. For football as a whole, this is changing the game.
Okay then, everyone, we've talked bigger picture about these teams, but there are some very interesting matchups we're about to be seeing. For example, Jeremy Doku versus Alex Freeman. So that brings us to our segment presented by Nintendo Switch 2. Who do you think will have more success in this matchup, JD? Doku or Freeman?
I love what Alex Freeman's done within this tournament. I wasn't actually aware of his background in terms of his father as well, being an all-time great in the NFL as well. So the family history, the storyline, everything that Alex Freeman's had, the momentum has been fantastic. Now, this is where I really get to see how good you are on the pitch, because that is one of the most fearful wingers in world football. His sharpness, how good he is, the transitions, oh my gosh, listen to me. If you're going to get cold sweats, Jeremy Doku will give you cold sweats. Not because he's going to drop his shoulder 1,000 times and you don't know which way he's going to go, but he's really going to test Alex Freeman to how good he is on the pitch. So all of the narrative, all of the conversations, all of the Good Morning, I think it's Good Morning America interviews, that's all great. But at the end of the day, you need to turn up in this moment. And he's got one of the hardest matchups, but his determination and how well he plays could actually be a massive factor, because I do see Belgium have an over-reliance on what Jeremy Doku can do in the final third.
Okay. So more success, Doku, Freeman. You've got to give me an answer.
Doku.
I like what you said. You're like, you don't know which way he's going.
You don't know which way he's going.
Okay, but you actually do. He's going right. You know, every time he's going to go to the right, but you're still guessing.
On to our next one then. Rodney, who will have more success, Adams or De Bruyne?
Oof.
Big one.
That is a big one, because Tyler Adams' job is to anchor and to hold and to stop KDB from pinging the ball wherever he wants. Ultimately, in my opinion, Tyler Adams gets the job done. Strong player, has to have his best defensive performance.
Commentary of that is on Sports Extra. Gigi said that 10 games played. We just had the countdown from 10 seconds. We're now underway with Spain playing from left to right as we look. As this is Kubasi. They've actually had a very, very settled side of Spain as well throughout the fifth tournament. They've got 7 players who have played now or started all 5 matches. Simon, Kubasi, Laporte. As Portugal, the move breaks down on the right-hand side. Cucurella, Rodri, Pedri and Oyarzabal, who's done ever so well. It will be a goal kick for Unai Simon.
Yeah, just a bit of a clumsy start there from Unai Simon, trying to clip a ball out to the left to Cucurella, but Pedro Neto's playing on that right-hand side for Portugal, nipping in and winning it, but nothing came of it.
This is Porro, just short of the halfway line, back towards Kubasi. Rodri is available if he wishes. Pedri makes a run in towards the halfway line. Kubasi then finds Pedri, and it's laid off to Porro on this near side, the right. And they're trying to press there at Portugal. That was Felix, who's playing on the left-hand side of that front 3. Bruno Fernandes is also there as Kubasi. Porro unable to get past Felix. And then there was a foul that Anthony Taylor, the English referee, will give in favour of Portugal on João Neves.
Yeah, I like the kits as well, all white of Spain beat the all red of Portugal. Mentioned João Felix plays his club football, doesn't he, with Ronaldo. That may have been part of the thinking of why he started off that left-hand side. I thought Leao had a really good game against Croatia, but could only make the bench.
We were actually together when he made his debut for Portugal in the Nations League in 2019. In
Portugal.
Well, I was going to say Guimarães. I was going to be a little bit more precise. As the ball switched out to Yamal on this near side, unable to control it, level with the penalty area on the right.
Yeah, that battle is. I'm really looking forward to that. Yamal against Nuno Mendes. That's going to be one to watch.
But actually, it was Porto, not Guimarães. You flustered me. 0-0. BBC Radio 5 Live. As Oyarzabal wins the ball and shoots. Hits it low, left-footed. But good positioning from Diogo Costa, the goalkeeper, in his luminous goalkeeping outfit with a save.
Yeah, just smothered in midfield from the Spanish press, and
they've lost it again. Yamal picks it up right-hand side, behind Olmo in the penalty area. And in the end, I thought that Coutinho was running into trouble because he was running straight into Baena on that far side. And Portugal have just had a rather couple of uncomfortable moments as a low ball played in from that far side by Spain. Still 0-0. BBC Radio 5 Live, 3 minutes played.
I think Spain have shown their intentions from the off. They're just going to press Portugal. That's why Portugal need that pace in the centre-forward area. Someone who's going to stretch the 2 Spanish centre-backs.
Ball cut out by Felix as Yamal tried to get Porro in round the back on this near side, the right. This is Veiga. Now with João Neves, midway through the Portugal half. Spain so impressive in their defence, yet to concede. And also in that game against Austria, didn't allow Austria a shot on target, as they ended what was been described as their World Cup hoodoo, their first win in the knockout match at a World Cup since the 2010 final. As the ball is hit long, Mendes will like to get forward, as we know, and as he controls it, it bobbles away from him, and we'll go back to Gigi Salmon on centre court.
The British wildcard Arthur Ferry has held for 6-5 in the 5th cert. So when these players resume, Grigor Dimitrov will be serving to take us to a 10-point deciding tiebreak to decide our Wimbledon quarter-finalists. But the Brit leads by 6-5 in the 5th.
Thank you, Gigi. Commentary on Sports Extra. Ball chipped up over the head of Olmo. Vega had gone with Oyarzabal, who was dropping back, and then it bounces away off Kubasi's legs and goes out for a Portuguese throw on this near side, the left. They're playing from right to left, all in red. Chris Sutton.
Yeah, we saw that switch of play, which Nuno Mendes actually missed control on that left-hand side for Portugal. See, Joao Felix just played more or less an inside left. There's a long throw from Mendes.
And it comes from the left-hand side. Cucurella in a central area, heads it away, helped further away by Oyarzabal, just brushes down his front of the chest of that white shirt, out towards Baena, flicking side towards Rodri, able to turn. Diagonal ball picks out Olmo in space. Olmo just slowed down a fraction, just to assess his options. Porros is to his right. Inside of him is Yamal. Almost midway through the Portugal half, still 0-0. 5 minutes played here on 5 Live. Kubasi. There's a nice, brisk tempo the way that Spain are playing, though.
Yeah, but they always play like this, don't they? Move the ball quickly, trying to find little openings, hoping there'll be a misjudgment from a Portuguese defender and exploit a gap or two.
Kubasi edges forward. Olmo collects it, then passes the ball straight towards Mendes, the Portugal left back. Infield to Vitinha. João Neves gets a little touch. Vega, the former Chelsea man, will go back with a back pass to Costa. And Diogo Costa now finds Renato Vega. This is his 5th start. He's started in every game. Didn't have a happy time when he was at Chelsea. Now plays his football in Spain for Villarreal. As Cancelo coming forward. Strong run by Cancelo. Right corner of the area! And he hits that, and that whistled over the top. That would have been some goal.
Actually built really well down the left-hand side, and then the quick switch of play. And Cancelo marauding forward on that right-hand side, getting to the point of the 18-yard box. I mean, difficult to score from there, but he didn't half give it a thump with his right foot.
Simon had it covered. Might take something special like that to get the first goal for Spain to concede at this World Cup. 0-0 it remains. Vega's knockdown header to Ruben Dias of Manchester City. And then Dias just plays the ball to his side for Vega. Bruno Fernandes over the halfway line, near side the left. This is João Neves able to turn. Little touch from Vitinha. Mendes. Round the corner was Bruno Fernandes, but they've run into trouble. They're straight into Rodri, who mops it up for Spain. Early ball forward. Olmo looks for Oyarzabal. Oyarzabal in the penalty area. Wide.
No flag as well. And that is a huge opportunity. What a pass from Dani Olmo.
I think he was onside as well, wasn't he?
And I think we all expected the back of the net to bulge. Beautifully weighted past Olmo. Oyarzabal, left-hand side of the box, 16 yards out, one-on-one. And he pulls it, could have lifted it over the keeper. That's a huge opportunity for Spain.
From our position, hard to see the touchline down below because of the banks of monitors that are in front of us in our steep commentary position. As Ronaldo, I thought, was going to shoot, does a little step over, loses the ball, comes out towards Vitinha, chips it towards João Felix, left-hand side. But I, like you, was expecting Oyarzabal to hit the back of the net. João Felix for Portugal, 0-0. Back to Wimbledon in a moment, ball little in towards João Neves, goes behind, and it will be a corner kick, but back to centre court, Gigi.
12 games played, 12 holds, 6 games apiece, which means this match will be decided on a 1st to 10-point tiebreak. We're into the second point. Arthur Ferry, the British wildcard, has held serve. It's 1-0. It's a serve to Dimitrov. It's now 1 apiece, 1st to 10, to confirm our Wimbledon quarter-finalist.
Thank you. And a reminder, commentary is on Sports Extra. Portugal then have got a corner kick near side the left. They're playing from right to left. Anthony Taylor is clearly saying, just to cut it out, there's a little bit of pushing and shoving going on inside that penalty area. Rodri and Ronaldo are the two who are jostling for position. Ronaldo's trying to get free. He goes to ground. Anthony Taylor had a good view of it. Then it comes out towards It was João Cancelo who had an effort that he was blocked and charged down, and it rebounds all the way towards Costa. Hits it long. Bruno Fernandes makes the run. Porro did ever so well. Watchful defending to head it away, as that was awkward. He was running back. Could have easily dropped over his shoulder, but the right back towards Simon, who clears the ball away. Chris Sutton, 10 minutes played, goalless.
Yeah, and Ronaldo raising his arms to Anthony Taylor, saying, come on. There was a tug there. But the referees in the main have been pretty robust, haven't they?
Diagonal ball played in from that far side. Comes back out towards Vitinha. Quickly challenged by Rodri. Cancelo plays it to the feet of Vitinha. They work it out towards that far side, the right. This is Pedro Neto. Now with Vitinha. Back to the edge of the centre circle for Portugal and for Vega. Mendes. Vitinha likes to dictate, likes to orchestrate in the midfield, wants to get busy, but his ball to Bruno Fernandes wasn't controlled very well, and Spain are able to get the ball back. Porro couldn't go back towards Unai Simon. That avenue was being cut off by Cristiano Ronaldo, but then there was a foul by João Felix on Porro. Free kick to Spain.
It was a good foul from Spain's point of view, because Porro didn't have many options in that situation. Been a bright start to the game, hasn't it? And Portugal have certainly played their part, but the big moment was Arbel there and missing that one-on-one.
Caught in possession, ball up towards Ronaldo. Ronaldo in the area, does the step over, shoots, saved and parried and knocked behind by the goalkeeper Unai Simon, all in blue.
Bruno Fernandes to Ronaldo, right-hand side of the box. Doesn't really go anywhere with the step over anymore, but little shift, narrow angle. And it's a comfortable save, but parried behind.
It was Pedri who was caught in possession initially by Spain. Mendes goes across to that far side, the right. The sunlight coming through the retractable roof creates a little bit of a haze with those shafts of sunlight when you're looking down from such a high vantage position as we are here in Dallas. Mendes plays it in swinger, headed out by Oyarzabal for Spain. Still 0-0, 12 minutes played, and it will be kept in play. Played down the line on the right-hand side. Mendes has still stayed out that side, stumbles, falls over. Spain, though, give it back towards Portugal, and then Rodri running back will get control in the midfield for Spain. Back to Gigi.
Mini break, Arthur Ferry in this first 10-point tie break. He's broken for 4-2. The players have switched ends, and it is now 4-3. Arthur Ferry, mini break, first to 10.
Sports Extra for the commentary. Here is Yamin Lamal having his shirt pulled by Nuno Mendes. He actually complains to the referee as well. The Portuguese left-back tries to plead his innocence. I don't think Anthony Taylor was looking at either of them. Cucurella, far side the left for Spain.
I think he had a point, didn't he, Yamal there? Clear tug on him. Really been in the game.
Kubasi looking for the run of Pedri through the midfield. This is far side. João Felix was coming in from a central area. Ronaldo had just gone to the left and Neto to the right. Olmo meanwhile runs forward for Spain. Low ball takes a deflection, comes back in, and Baena hits it first time. Snatched it, that wayward effort off target. Goal kick, 0-0.
Yeah, not enough from the Spanish wide players in this early part of the game. Baena on that left-hand side, diminutive figure, wants to come inside and get shots off. That was high and wide.
By far the best opportunity created in these opening 14 minutes was that one for Oyarzabal. Delightful forward ball. This game is live on BBC One. Reminder that you can listen and watch to the 5 Live commentary through the iPlayer and the BBC Sport website whenever a game is on BBC television. Portugal 0, Spain 0, 14 minutes played here live in Dallas. United States, Belgium is our next game that will come from Seattle. That's a 1 o'clock kickoff in the morning UK time. Here is Pedri inside the centre circle of the Portugal half. Kubasi, Porro, back to the central defender, the teenager for Barcelona. Made his debut for Spain at just the age of 17 after only 12 games for Barcelona. Spain keeping the ball in that midfield area. Portugal with everybody back behind the ball bar Ronaldo. Kubasi is forced out wide and actually will leave that for Porro. Felix then goes towards him, as does Bruno Fernandes, as Kubasi runs back towards the edge of his penalty area. Chris Sutton.
Yeah, they've sort of mixed up their press a little bit. Portugal, they're not sitting really deep, they're engaging Spain up the pitch, and Spain not being quite good enough. And another careless pass. That one was from Spain. Yamal giving the ball away. They've countered pretty well, Portugal.
2 or 3 times where Spain have been a little bit sloppy with their distribution in that respect. Quarter of an hour played. Here is Mendes. A little bit of a wobble, but he manages to run forward, gets away from Olmo, passes the ball out towards Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes has picked out Mendes, who's continued his run. That wasn't too far away from actually finding him, and Simon had to be quickly off his line. Rodri now can run forward. The red shirts of Portugal drop off. Rodri finds Yamal. Yamal into the area, cuts inside, pushed away by the goalkeeper. Comes out towards Baena, who shoots, but it brushes the hand of a twisting save by Costa. That was an excellent double save by Costa. First to keep out Yamal, but even better to respond to the one from Baena.
Yeah, you're right. The first one, I think, is a comfortable save. The second one is absolutely sensational. Baena, mentioned, likes to get shots off with his right foot from the left-hand side. That's curling just inside the post. Costa at full stretch, top hand around the post. That chance coming. Nuno Mendes had run forward at the other end, the Portuguese left back, and left a big space on that on their left-hand side. The Spanish right, and Yamal chopping inside. Yeah, comfortable enough first save.
Baena now waits to take the corner kick on this near side the right. Spain are playing from left to right as we look. In it comes now, headed out by Diaz. Yamal chips the ball towards Cucurella, unmarked, volleys the ball across over the head of 2 Spanish players. Olmo picks it up right-hand side of the area. Yamal now delivers a left-footed cross, headed away well by Diaz, under pressure for Portugal. And Yamal was coming back, walking back from an offside position, so he therefore couldn't get to the end of that ball that was played back towards him. As we go back to Gigi Salmon.
Deep into the 10-point tiebreak in the 5th set after 3 hours and 52 minutes. Both players, Grigor Dimitrov and British wildcard Arthur Ferry, have held a mini break. They have neutralised each other. It is 7-6 on 7. No, it's called wide. And it will be 8-6 in favour of Arthur Ferry, who needs 2 more points to be a Wimbledon quarter-finalist.
That would be some story for the British wildcard. Remember, the Wimbledon Daily is the podcast that you can always download for reaction, analysis. And for him to reach the last 8, Arthur Ferry, what a story that would be. Whilst I was listening to Gigi, what did you notice down below?
Nuno Mendes just having a bit of a shirt swap, maybe must have had a torn jersey. Portuguese left back.
Baena picks it up far side, looks for the run of Cucurella on the inside of him. He got there well. They required Diaz to slide to make that intervention when there was a foul by Baena. Anthony Taylor, the English referee, says, yeah, that'll be a free kick to Portugal. Bruno Fernandes, incidentally, moving into the top 10 of the appearance list makers for Portugal with his 94th appearance. Joint 10th, actually. He'll take him level with Rui Costa for the Manchester United player. Yet to really see make an impact at this World Cup.
Maybe, I think we've spoken about the reasons for that before. Maybe the centre forward, not enough movement ahead, but yeah, certainly hasn't been a happy player.
Match point on centre court. Gigi Salmon.
2 of them for the British wildcard Arthur Ferry after 3 hours and 54 minutes against the former world number 3 Grigor Dimitrov. Arthur Ferry, the 23-year-old, played on the Challenger Tour all year, wildcarded here at 9-7, a point to win in the 5th. Ferry settles, raw box behind him, reaches up with the serve, serves down the tee and he misses. The groan from the crowd. He looks and juggles the 2 balls, discards one, puffs out his chest, starts bouncing the ball. Dimitrov on the baseline, 9-7, match point, the first of 2, serve down the tee, the backhand is netted! And Arthur Ferry, hands on hips, has done it! The British wildcard, the world number 114, is a Wimbledon quarter-finalist, and he's done it with back-to-back 5-set wins, and in 5 minutes shy of 4 hours, he's taken out Grigor Dimitrov, the former world number 3, 7-6 in the 5th. Arthur Ferry, Wimbledon quarter-finalist.
Full steam ahead for Ferry then, Chris.
Very good.
Neto running forward. 0-0 it remains here in the World Cup. BBC Sport website, 5 Live, there'll be more reaction to that as well. As Portugal are attacking, Bruno Fernandes with a cutback, Cancelo shot. Over the top, left-footed, goal kick. Still, in fact, flag was up anyway on that far side.
But lovely pass, wasn't it? Bruno Fernandes, right-hand side of the box, just Cancelo pops the ball into him and he reversed it. Cancelo shut down.
The crowd have responded to somebody on the TV who, I've got to be honest with you, I haven't got a clue who it was. He's clearly very popular in the United States.
Well, when I was in this stadium with Bruce Ball, he tried that and got the wrong sport.
Here is Olmo.
As an NBA player, he went for NFL.
Olmo back inside to Pedri. 21 minutes played. The encouragement for Spain is that on 2 occasions they have pierced that Portuguese back line. They haven't taken the chances. Oyarzabal dragged his shot wide. Costa's made a good double save from the other opportunity, where it was Rodri initially who found Yamal. But that would be the encouragement, the way that they've been able to breach the Portuguese defence. As again they look for a similar ball. Baena on this occasion was tripped by Cancelo, was it? And that'll be a free kick. Yeah,
it's the right call from Anthony Taylor. Baena just coming in towards the ball and making a movement to go in behind, and Cancelo blocking him off. More rugby that than football.
0-0, approaching the midway point of this first half, and Spain have got a free kick 6-7 yards in from the left touchline on that far side. Baena's going to take it. Portugal have got everybody back bar one inside their own penalty area. They're also, I think, a little bit concerned about Pedri being left completely unmarked as Baena fires this one in over the head of Olmo, headed out by Bruno Fernandes. Porro has an effort with a volley right-footed, and it goes out for a goal kick. So we've got a drinks break. Means we can go back to Gigi. And Gigi, what a story for
More 3 shots on target, I think 1 for Portugal. There'll be more.
And this, just to be clear, this can't end in a draw. I mean,
No, but
yeah. I know your point, but, there will be a winner. It's a knockout.
Yeah, but draws, even at the end of extra time, are classed as a draw. And then obviously,
is that right, though?
The Nations League penalty final last year, that was classed as a draw, but Portugal won on penalties.
Yeah.
That was the point I was making. I
Good,
knew that
good point, well made.
We're back underway.
It's another good battle there, isn't it? Neto against Cucurella. Former teammates. Cucurella unhappy about the challenge. He's off to Real Madrid now, isn't he?
Yep, £55 million, 6-year deal, leaving Pedro Neto, who of course with Cucurella had won the Club World Cup in the United States last summer behind at Stamford Bridge. But certainly Neto did well for Chelsea last year. 10 goals that he scored in his 52 appearances. But the greater opportunities have fought, well, apart from the whistling effort from Cancelo, Spain, Oyarzabal, you'd have thought he would have hit the target, and then we had that double save from Diego Costa. 27 minutes played.
That just came up on the big screen, that the second save from Baena. That was some goalkeeping there, full stretch, right hand tipping it, his top hand tipping it around the post.
Should also point out as well that Spain are looking to equal their best ever run of 35 matches undefeated, which was February 2007 to 2009. They haven't lost a game of football in 836 days. This Spanish side, undefeated in 34 matches, as Neves lifts it towards Bruno Fernandes, controls the ball inside, he moves it towards Vitinha, who switches play out towards that far side, the right. 0-0, 5 live. Ronaldo drops deep, passes the ball out. This is Neto, gets the ball back from Ronaldo. An unwillingness to try and go on the outside, and instead they go back towards the halfway line and back towards Vitinha, who runs with the ball. Yamal gets something on it, takes it out of its intended direction. Mendes at left back on the halfway line, now with Vega. Vega in the centre circle. It's cagey at the moment. Diaz passes the ball forward. This is João Neves under pressure from Rodri, runs into trouble, ball breaks free. Little touch by Oyarzabal to Olmo, through the middle, looks for Lamine Yamal. Sliding challenge was perfect by Vega, and it had to be as well, because he had a lot of ground to make up.
Yeah, it was a really important challenge, because Yamal had just got on the wrong side of Nuno Mendes, the Portuguese left back, and he would have been through on goal, but Vega getting across.
The left-sided central defender hoists the ball high up towards Neto, leaps, he's coming back from an offside position, and that's why it's a free kick. But again, that was another good tussle between the two former Chelsea, well, one former Chelsea player.
Yeah, I do enjoy watching Cucurella. He's always involved, isn't he? Niggly left back for Spain, always got something to say.
Animated as ever, as Yamal waits for the overlapping run of Porro, delivers the ball. Another good block by Mendes. Defending well, Portugal, because the weight of the pass allowed Porro to hit it first time, but Mendes just sliding backwards got the block with his legs.
Yeah, and of course we've seen Porro play so many times for Tottenham. He marauds forward on that right-hand side. Hasn't done so much for Spain in this opening half an hour.
Almost available as a short option, should Baena want to do so. And in fact, he does find Olmo. They play it now in field towards Yamal, 30 yards out from goal. This is Porro, diagonal ball to Cucurella, back pedals, controls it, left corner of the area. Back inside, Pedri passes the ball forward. The goalkeeper saved him with his legs, almost header forward, wide. I think he was a little bit put off by Kubasi being ahead of him.
Yeah, absolutely right. Kubasi is onside. Pedri's in a position, he must be, what, over 25 yards out, and rather than thump it, he sees the run of Kubasi, his Barcelona teammate, and then Costa was uncertain, but actually It was a decent enough scramble with his left boot, but Olmo, the ball just sat up for him and he couldn't direct the header. Not enough pace on the ball there to direct it past Costa.
Do you think Costa was initially in two minds?
Yeah,
it was
absolutely,
an orthodox save, wasn't it?
I think Kavasi would have been in his eye line, and he'd been wondering whether he could have gotten a touch. He didn't, but Costa reacted pretty well.
2 clean sheets in his 4 starts so far at this World Cup for Portugal, who are looking to reach the last 8 for a 4th time, but it would be the first time that they've achieved back-to-back quarter-final appearances in the history of the World Cup, managed by Roberto Martinez, who turns 53 next Monday. 0-0, over half an hour played, 5 live. Rodri trying to burst forward. Bruno Fernandes going back with him. Clears the ball for Portugal. Sliced effort that by Laporte. There was nobody running in behind, and it allowed Unai Simon to take the ball back in towards his penalty area in blue. Underarm throw out, and now this is with Rodri. Pedri able to turn just outside the centre circle. Coming onto the ball is Kubasi, forward towards Olmo. João Felix with the interception, and off it diverts off his right boot and back towards his own goalkeeper, Costa.
He's a good player, isn't he? Dani Olmo, just trying to find those little gaps in between the Portuguese midfield and the back 4.
How would you describe the opening half an hour or so?
Yeah, it has been, I think you used the word cagey. It has been very cagey, hasn't it? Neither team really opening up and wanting to go for it. Pedro Porro, we've seen him get forward. We're seeing Cucurella on the other side for Spain, maybe playing a little bit higher up.
Oyarzabal after the layoff from Olmo. Baena had come into a central area. Cucurella provides the width on the left, back with Alex Baena once again. Pedri on the turn. Porro, Yamal ahead of him. Kicks it down to his feet, runs forward, passes the ball towards Olmo. That was good movement from Olmo. And then tucked in was Cancelo to clear the ball away, and he needed to cover, did the Portuguese right back. Out it goes for a throw.
It's a brilliant run, but also the weight of pass from Yamal, close to the byline, and an underlap from Olmo, but no takers in the middle.
This is Laporte, finds Baena, left-hand side of the area, can't deliver the cross, can't get past Cancelo. Cucurella offers the support. Cucurella passes the ball forward, back towards Laporte, then it goes forward towards Alex Baena once again on the far side. He delivers the cross. Vega's there to head it away. Porro stabs it into the path of Rodri. Laporte now the central defender, drills it low. This is Oyarzabal with a layoff towards Rodri. Rodri runs forward. Rodri offloads it then towards Porro. Then they go wide, near side to right. Yamal passes the ball back inside. Pedri right-footed. Nice first touch, back out towards Yamal, enters the area, tries to cut inside, but Mendes did well with the block, helped out by Felix. Felix was fouled. That'll be a free kick to Portugal, 0-0.
I thought Yamal, he won the ball there, little shake of the head. Portugal not being able to get up the pitch. Maybe it was a foul.
Would you agree that Spain are the ones who are probing?
Yeah, I mean,
and Portugal are looking just to try to contain.
They look the more likely team to score, don't they? But I think there's been a feature throughout the tournament for Portugal. They don't have that movement up top, and that's an issue. It's going to be no great surprise to us if Spain score. If Portugal did it, you feel it would be against the grain, against the run of play.
But you've seen where João Neves and Vitinha can control football matches for PSG. Yet, at the minute, they're unable to do that for Portugal.
And you think they've also got Bruno Fernandes, who's just playing in a role ahead of them. So they have good legs in that area.
Look for that ball from deep. Kubasi for the run of Oyarzabal, but that was well read by the Portuguese goalkeeper Costa to the edge of his penalty area. That bobbled a little bit for Vitinha, under pressure from Olmo, back towards his goalkeeper, and they play out from the back. Ruben Dias looks towards Neto. He's cutting a frustrated figure, is Cristiano Ronaldo. Not once, but twice. He's skipped away, a little bit of a hop and a drop of the shoulders.
Well, it's always everybody else's fault, isn't it?
9 minutes to go to half-time. Kubasi carries the ball midway through the Portugal half. Pedri picks out Oyarzabal, who was the one who had dropped a little bit deeper. Baena was the one leading the line on that occasion for Spain. As now this is Vitinha able to turn. Ronaldo coming back, passes the ball to his central defender Vega, returns it back towards Ronaldo, short of the halfway line. João Felix in field. Vitinha, referee's played the advantage, runs forward. There's no focal point at the moment because Ronaldo had gone so deep, but now he's edge of the area as the ball goes out wide. Bruno Fernandes doesn't deliver it. Neto stays onside, gets that short pass. Now he delivers the cross. It's deep, and the header from João Felix, prodded goalwards by Cristiano Ronaldo, and then caught by Unai Simon. But there was no real power on that.
He's hurt himself, João Felix. It was a ball from the right-hand side, deep to the far post, wasn't it? Pedro Neto, left-footed, in-swinging ball, and João Felix does brilliantly to get round the back post, heads it back across, and Simon gets a big shoulder on the ball, and then acrobatics from Ronaldo, overhead kick, just trying to divert the ball in. It was heading in, but Simon leaping and catching the ball two-handed.
It was a good two-handed catch by Unai Simon, who rarely lets Spain down. It's his 63rd appearance for the Athletic Bilbao goalkeeper.
There's Pedro Neto lying down on the pitch, holding his heel.
It says attempts at goal on the giant screen, and when I say a giant screen, my word, it's imposing. As soon as you walk up into this stadium, there it is, suspended from the roof. I mean, that's like the size of a house.
Well, is it? Depends how big your house is, doesn't it? What, a bungalow or? No, it's big. I don't know whether there's any bigger in the US.
Anyway, play's going to get back underway.
Boot back on, Neto.
Sometimes I despair, you know. I've only been with you for a day.
Hey,
and I'm thinking
we've got another 2 weeks.
I know, we've got another 2 weeks together. Honestly, I don't know how I'm going to survive. 0-0, BBC Radio 5 Live. Portugal and Spain in this last 16 encounter. Simon tries to go direct through the middle, headed away by Vega. Mendes nudges the ball forward to João Felix. He was fouled by Porro.
It's a really stupid challenge from Pedro Porro. Anthony Taylor going over to have a word and saying you're not getting too many more of them. João Felix back towards his own goal, 15-20 yards inside his own half, near the touchline, and Porro just kicks him over.
The point I was going to make about the giant screen is that it said that there was 5 shots for Portugal and 7 for Spain, but it hasn't felt like that type of game. It's 3 apiece on target, as it's still 0-0.
Yes, the game needs a goal, doesn't it, to really then stop the caution from both teams.
You can see there's a clear respect that they have for each other.
I think a respect and maybe a bit of fear are at the knockout stage.
I sense Portugal are more fearful of Spain than the other way around. But we'll see. Corner kick to Portugal, far side the right, 0-0. Portugal all in red, playing from right to left as we look. Mendes has gone far side the right to take it. A lot of activity in that 6-yard box that Anthony Taylor, the English referee, is just having to keep an eye on. At the minute, you've got Cristiano Ronaldo actually standing in the goal, behind the goal line.
And Rodri facing him up. Like a sort of gridiron move, isn't it?
But then also on the halfway line, Yamal has drifted out to the right-hand side and Cancelo has gone with him. As they take the corner short on the right-hand side, they work it back towards Mendes. Mendes shoots, takes a deflection, hits the crossbar. He hit that really, really hard. It was a wicked deflection. Simon looked beaten. And Spain, who are yet to concede, saved by the bar.
Yeah, thumped off the bar, didn't it? One off the training ground for Portugal. Austin McPhee, another McPhee move. And Seaman wasn't stopping that. Thundered off the bar.
Came off the head of Porro. And it veered up quite wickedly onto the crossbar. Mendes, who saw that effort denied, now with a throw on this near side, the left. But Anthony Taylor's not happy. He's blown his whistle. Cucurella was on his knees. Throw, I think, is going to have to be retaken. Pedro Neto also has a word now in the right ear of the English official, as the supporters inside the giant stadium here watching that giant screen. The oohs and the ahs after watching it come back off the bar. Mendes, low ball. Olmo battles for it. Porro nudges it into the path of Yamal. Rides two challenges, he's done well. Great balance, great composure. Tries to get the ball out towards Baena on that far side, the left. I think he had been impeded. To his credit, he stayed on his feet. As a sliding challenge by Cancelo curbs the run of Baena. Now it's starting to warm up. Here is Yamal, central area, drives forward.
Great recovery there. Brilliant from Joao Felix. Really working hard, because Yamal picked up the ball in space and he's such a lovely mover, but Felix onto it, read it, got a toe in. Yamal looking for a free kick, but it wasn't cleanly done.
It's a very intriguing game of football. Portugal 0, Spain 0, 2.5 minutes to go to half-time. Ruben Dias back to his goalkeeper Costa. They play it through the penalty area for Vega, the left-sided centre-back. This is Vitinha, who will drop a long way short. Rodri eventually gets towards him. Now Felix passes the ball out. Vitinha's continued his run, and that's cut out by Laporte. Just a gentle leap into the air by Laporte. They've given the ball away of Spain. It's picked up by Ronaldo midway through the Spain half. Wasn't really going anywhere. It was Ronaldo again. He looks animated and frustrated at some of his teammates as they eventually get the ball out wide. This is Cancelo on that far side. Neto now has an opportunity to run at Cucurella. Comes on the inside. Vitinha strokes the ball back to Ruben Dias. Every outfield player is in the half away towards our left. It's 0-0. 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app. You can also be watching and listening through the iPlayer and the BBC Sport website. As Vega, the central defender, now will run forward. Passes the ball out to this near side. Mendes, challenge from Lamine Yamal. A real duel going on between those two. Portugal, though, still have it. Vega. Felix. Now for Mendes with a cross. It's a deep one. Good assured handling by the goalkeeper. Running back. Takes it, commanding both hands. 0-0.
Yeah, I suppose this is the quietest we've seen Lamine Yamal in this tournament. No surprise they're up against Mendes, but yeah, Spain have got to find something from other areas. We've seen a couple of lovely passes from Dani Olmo, but not too much off the Spanish right-hand side.
Inside the last 60 seconds of this first half, Olmo passes the ball out. Slowly it reaches Baena, touches the ball back for Cucurella, back inside to Dani Olmo, moving away from that Portugal goal though. Laporte joins the attack midway through that Portuguese half. Spain playing from left to right as we look. Olmo looking to turn, finds Oyarzabal. Oyarzabal inside the area, looks for a shooting opportunity. It's taken away from him. It comes out to Rodri, who'll shoot on the rise, right-footed, over the top, goal kick. By my watch, the 45 minutes are up, and we're now into 6 minutes of stoppage time.
Yeah, it's good defending from the Portuguese centre-backs, Vega in particular. And the ball's fizzed up. Oyarzabal on the right-hand side of the box, shifts it inside. He wants to get a shot off with that big left foot of his. He blocked the line of it, and then Rodri, that was optimism, 30 yards out, high and wide.
That's Chris Sutton, who was with us. We're also in the company of Guillaume Balaguer. You'll be hearing from Guillaume at half-time with Steve Crossman on a day when Arthur Ferry, the British wildcard, has reached the quarter-finals of the men's singles after beating Grigor Dimitrov in 5 sets on centre court. I'm sure there'll be some more reaction to that. And then we've maybe got the next instalment of Ballingate. João Neves looks for the run of Cristiano Ronaldo, but as he ran in towards the penalty area, Simon had that covered all day long for Spain. Still 0-0, stoppage time this first half here on 5 Live. The United States-Belgium is a last 16 tie. We'll have commentary from 1 in the morning for you on 5 Live. Cucurella, far side the left. Baena passes the ball in field to Rodri. Olmo, Porro now, looks for the ball over the top towards Jamal, finds him, lovely first touch, and then he's put it wide. It was a lovely cushion touch off the left boot. The flag was up anyway, it wouldn't have counted as he pulled it well off target, 0-0.
Yeah, not too much space in behind to hit, but he's just a bit impetuous there. I mean, Jamal goes too early, little spin in and ball in behind. Yeah, his first touch was sublime anyway, but it wouldn't have counted, a yard and a half offside.
Still goalless. Pedri along the ground. Olmo tickles it towards Oyarzabal. The challenge was made and it was a foul. The referee, I think Anthony Taylor, had tried to play the advantage to Spain. There wasn't one. He's brought it back midway through the Portugal half. Free kick Spain, still 0-0.
Yeah, can they work something from a set piece? We saw Portugal come close with a well-worked corner. Austin McPhee there. Set piece coach. I wonder whether Spain have one. I suppose they do, don't they? Have they got their own Austin McPhee?
I don't know, you can ask Guillaume at half-time. This free kick...
Too far to shoot.
Yeah, too far to shoot. Must be...
32 yards.
It's over 30 yards out from goal. Probably nearer 36. As it's taken by Baena, floated out towards Rodri, volleys the ball back, tucked by Laporte, falling backwards up. You find it disconcerting that you can't see this. Some of these stadiums, you can't even see the near touch line.
Yeah, but you're sort of a foot shorter than me, aren't you? That's the issue. If you had a longer neck. I'm half an inch taller than Japanese tallest ever goalkeeper. You should know, who is that and how tall is he?
Well, I'm not a foot smaller than you. I'm 6'2½".
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, you're not.
I mean, the fact that he just don't look like a giraffe, I don't think you can penalise me for that.
You can't talk to me like that.
0-0. Kubasi out to that far side, and then Laporte hits it long, looking for Baena, bounces off the shoulders of Cancelo, gives him a good old shoulder barge back and helps Diaz find Vega, and Portugal deal with the threat as Spain try and press, but the press is beaten, and this is João Neves able to turn.
They haven't done that enough, Spain, when Portugal have had a high line. Really stretched the back line of Portugal. Cancelo aging at 32 there, Baena making the run, coming to the ball, spinning in. It was a hell of a long ball, but Cancelo using all his experience and his body and budging Baena off the ball.
I'm fascinated by the body language of Ronaldo. João Felix has tried to chip the ball out to this near side, the left, and Ronaldo's throwing his arms about and complaining.
Well, told you, Mr. Sugden, Kez. Just watch it, watch it. A 7-minute clip. Tell me if I'm right.
We've got 60 seconds remaining of stoppage time. Portugal at the back with Diaz. Looking for run of João Felix. It's a diagonal run towards the right corner of the area. And there was a foul on Porro, who was pulled to the floor. And that will be a free kick to Spain.
Yeah, it's been a scrappy first half, hasn't it? You feel that both these teams have so much more in their armoury. That sort of summed it up.
I'm disappointed with Portugal.
Well, I've seen them a lot this tournament, and you know this is nothing new. You know, the only good performance was against the Uzbeks, but they're not a great. They weren't a great team, were they, to say the least?
Unai Simon will clear downfield with the free kick. And actually does well to keep the ball in play, far side the left, looks for the ball infield to Oyarzabal. That was blocked, it goes out for a throw. And the half-time whistle sounds by Anthony Taylor. Mendes has come the closest to getting the first goal that Spain have conceded. He had a rattling effort that thundered back off the bar after a deflection from Porro. But Spain, for me, have been the more ambitious of the two teams. Oyarzabal dragged a shot wide, lovely through ball from Olmo. Rodri found
this France side is not invincible, are they? Is Morocco the side that could potentially upset them in this World Cup, the most likely opponent they're going to face?
Or I don't want to spoil the bracket section we've got going on later, but I don't believe that this will be an upset. I do believe that Morocco is a serious nation. I think they showcased over the last couple of World Cups, and of course being now, I guess technically the AFCON champions, that they are a nation that, see, I did that there. I was just giving them formalities, just sort of formalities.
A little smoke.
Yeah, since they are technically champions going into this, I do believe that Morocco are a very, very good side. Love in terms of what they've done. I think Webby has had to step into a very awkward situation as the new head coach, but obviously the foundations he had laid with a lot of the youth teams has given him a good precedence to kind of go forward. But this is probably where the competition ends for them, because France are the real deal. And Paraguay were going to be a typical, in terms of defensive team, resilient. I've been told it's almost embedded in their culture, who they are as people, in terms of to show that resilience, especially on the pitch. And I was expecting France to kind of struggle in a low block, but they got the victory. And that's the most important part at this stage of the competition.
But Paraguay didn't have the quality that Morocco has. Morocco has the strength, but Morocco also can move the ball. And they're way more organized, and within their attack, they're fluid. It's not as if it's a defensive block, and then when they get the ball, they just kick it long. Now, Morocco is used to playing without the ball, and then when they do get it in that low block, they're able to transition in a way better outside flank movement situation than, I would say, Paraguay, which can also hurt France.
Darian?
You're saying Morocco are going to do something. We don't do half stepping here.
There's going to be an upset.
We don't do half stepping here.
There's an upset happening here. I'm going for Morocco.
What?
100%.
Oh, okay, I'm going to let my girl D come in first.
Darian?
No, I don't think there's going to be an upset. I think, yeah, Morocco have grown a lot throughout this tournament, but they can ride the wave of momentum. Yeah, they're fine without the ball, but they haven't faced France with the attack that they have. And I think that game of France and Paraguay, that gave them such, we were talking about sharpening iron earlier with England taking over Mexico. That was a game to me where France is like, oh, we can deal with any element. You can kick, you can shove, you can do all of the crazy-ish that comes with, the dark arts of the football. They can still pull out a win. They could have scored many more goals as well. The post helped them out, and there was a lot of moments where France could have put more chances away. But to me, that's a match that you look back on, you're like, we can beat anybody. If we have to go through that, we can top any of these teams.
So feeling very confident here on the desk. Everybody, it's time for our Connected for the Win presented by Xfinity. So everybody, Morocco are unbeaten in their last 34 games. Can they keep that streak going, JD, without Saibari?
That's an asterisk, really. But what I will say is...
Yes, not included voided loss to Senegal.
That's an asterisk. What I would say is that Morocco have demonstrated that they have an element of flexibility within their game. They're very adaptable. Doesn't matter what type of performance they need to go with. That means if they need to be aggressive and be on the front foot, if they need to contain and being good in the transitions. I love this Morocco team. There's not probably a team in world football that has expanded as much over the last 4 to 5 years in terms of the expectations to what they're actually delivering. Unfortunately, I'm going to say it again. They can keep going as much as they can, but they're going against the best team in the world right now. So I'm interested in what my boy has to say, because I'm going to be real. I don't see an upset. I don't see it happening in any which way. I actually think France will go out and demonstrate as to why they are the favourites in this competition right now.
From what I saw versus Paraguay is, okay, there's quality. France, the best attack in the world, favorite to win the World Cup. Morocco steps into the situation, they approach it the right way, and yes, they're going to sit in their low block at times. But when they do have the ball, I think, in my opinion, okay, Morocco can cause problems. And don't be surprised if at half we're up 1-0 versus France.
You heard it though, Dave. We're up. I heard it.
I told you. I'm going to say it now. You want me to reveal it now?
Yeah.
All right, everyone, let's try be objective on TV. Let's keep up with that. Should we talk about France, Kylian Mbappe? I mean, writing record books all the time, every game, I feel like, at this point in the World Cup. Most goals in knockout history in this tournament. 7 goals so far in that Golden Boot race. Are we really appreciating what we're seeing, Darian, do you think?
No, we're not. I think he's one of those players that is phenomenal. You look at the numbers he puts up, but we don't talk about him in the same caliber that we talk about other players, like a Kane, like a Messi, whoever you want to be talking about. And it's just because trophies have evaded him. At the club level, yes, he has a World Cup title, but as we've talked about, we were talking in the green room, he wasn't the guy that you're looking to. Now he is that guy. Can he bring this team to another final and win it? That's, I think, what's just evading him as to why he's not the same caliber, but the numbers he puts up, how effective he is for even club. He had, 48 goal contributions with Real Madrid, but we don't talk about that because of how they went out in Champions League as well. So I think if he gets to a final, they win it, absolutely, but he doesn't get the credit that he deserves.
Welcome to Haaland's Bank, Revolut, where he takes gains very seriously. He earns up to 5% interest, paid daily, and withdraws any time. Off you pop. A few more minutes in the cryo.
McDelivery? We're in!
Oh, fries to me.
Wait, did someone say fries? I'm in.
McDonald's and football? I mean, bring it home.
Agreed?
Anybody that's sleeping on Kylian Mbappe's greatness doesn't really understand as to how great he really is. Like, he is as explosive as I think I've ever seen in terms of as a footballer in the final third. He is so sharp, so short. And I can't remember which goal it was in the previous game, not against Paraguay, but I think it was the last game of the group where there was this triangle that had formulated on the right-hand side, and everyone's talking about the clip from when he's cutting in. Forgive me, the team actually eludes me right now, but what I was looking at was just his sharpness. And you know, as a defender, you can't switch off at any point when he's on your shoulder. And that is a telling sign, but then what he has is the clinical edge on top of it, because if I give him half a chance, he's going to find side netting, he's going to finish, and that right there is irreplaceable in world football. So we can talk about the Mbappes, we can talk about his greatness, but I think there's a lot of players in this France team that we're sleeping on. I mean, there's a Ballon d'Or winner, the defending champion, who's on this team. I mean, the best player, arguably, right now in world football in terms of form is Michael Olise. The back four looks as solid as it's ever done. We have a world-class goalkeeper in between the sticks, and, you know, the midfield actually understands his assignment. And we've done all this and haven't even mentioned N'Golo Kante, who's probably keeping his whole team together behind the scenes. This France team has everything. And just to sprinkle a little bit of icing on the cake, this is Didier Deschamps' goodbye. So they have the motivation, they have the storyline, they have the players, they have the quality. It's over to them whether or not they can turn around and get the second star on their chest.
So pressure's on France.
Yes, the pressure's been on them from the beginning.
Pressure's on
100%.
France at the World Cup.
The pressure's been on them.
Exactly. My point being, the pressure's on them. So why can't Morocco shock the world?
But the pressure was on them in 2018 when they won their second World Cup. The pressure was on them in '98 when they beat Brazil the first time round. Like, the pressure's always been on France because we know in our lifetime, I have never seen a France team without a world-class player in it. Like, they have always had pressure. And yet what I realize is they could probably put their second team out and still win this World Cup. And that's what I'm talking about when the quality is talking throughout this team. Because I look at the bench and I see Bradley Barcola coming. I see Desiree Doué coming off the bench. It doesn't really matter who you're talking about.
Kante is coming off the bench.
Everybody just take a seat back. Like,
let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see it.
Let's just enjoy. Tu parles en français?
Let's see it. No, I don't. I'm español.
Rodney, it does seem like Mbappe loves the pressure of a knockout round. He's never lost a game in the knockout rounds in World Cup history.
Mbappe is arguably one of the best players in the world in the box, whether it's like we talked about his quick movements, but it's the ability to go 1v1 before he gets to strike to go side netting. So him being hungry right now to get to the golden boot and all of those factors, they play a big role into these matches because of that hunger. I want to be the best in the world, so I have to show it the next game versus Morocco.
Darian, where would you rank Mbappe all time if he continues this pace and leads France to a World Cup title?
Where would I rank him?
Oh, if he wins this World Cup, despite not having a Champions League title, all of that, what you just alluded to, the trophy cabinet.
I mean, he's top 3 in strikers in the world, easily. I think even with that this is where I'm saying I think generally we don't talk about him as much because those have evaded him, but to me, he's already in that top 3. Anywhere he is on the pitch, he's dangerous. He comes alive when there's more pressure. The swagger that he has after putting away that penalty against Paraguay in those waning moments of the match. This is where he comes alive. And to me, when you're an all-time player, where you're a player where we're talking about being the best in the world, you can handle that pressure. And he's proven time and time again, even when he was younger, that he can handle it. So he's been up there for me. This would just quiet the haters that don't agree 100%. If he wins another trophy and does it with club.
Top 3 for you, JD?
In world football right now? Undoubtedly. I actually think he is in the all-time great category already because he's been doing it for a decade. And that's what people haven't realized. Since he burst onto the scene with Monaco and what we've seen in terms of the consistency, the development, and most importantly, the productivity, Kylian Mbappe is already an all-time great. Yeah. It's just how far does he want to go in terms of his leg. He has the opportunity to, with his skill set and what he's producing, to go down as the greatest of all time. But he is in that category of the all-time greats. I put him in the same conversation as a Romario, Rivaldo right now as one of the legacy strikers of a generation. How far he goes is be determined, to be honest, in the next 10 years.
So how many trophies he gets determines how far he'll go.
What you do in your impact. He's already broken all these other records, so it's just about adding to the trophy cabinet right now.
Yeah. Okay then, everyone. Why don't we move on? We've got a very special guest here in studio. We normally see him on the big screen, and now he's live here in person.
6'4", coming in a power forward.
There we go. The unit of Buckets. You're looking good, Buckets. How are you? You got your US jersey on?
I am. I'm repping the US today. My bets later in the show might not reflect that, but as of now, I'm trying to fit in with everyone, look good doing it. But I'm excited to be here. I mean, I've talked to you guys so much online. Good to finally put some faces to the voices and all that. Just glad to be with part of the team today.
Yeah, and you've made the trip to Connecticut, but you haven't bought. England became the first team to ever beat Mexico at the Estadio Azteca in the World Cup. So a history-breaking night. We saw what Thomas Tuchel said there yesterday. When Gareth Southgate left England, JD, as an England fan, I think we were all kind of worried that togetherness, that unity, if we were actually ever going to see it again from an England side.
It's very fair.
Did we see it last night?
I think sometimes in the midst of some of the most intense atmospheres, you can really find out how deep your team's character is. And yesterday, England had everything against them. The atmosphere, the altitude, the energy was against. Like, every single time I felt like an English player was touching the ball, I felt like all I could hear was whistles. And I was turning my TV down. That's how loud it was in terms of in the front room. So it was the perfect test to see if this team is unified, and they actually passed. And I was so shocked that it was, as Thomas Tuchel alluded to, it was the character, it was a determination. It had nothing to do with the football for the first time. I mean, you're never going to hear a manager praise a team that's had 33% possession, had half the amount of shots as the opposition, but then still showcase so much that goes into this game. And I was really proud of looking at England yesterday because it wasn't never going to be the cleanest cut game. It was never going to be the beautiful football that was going to get England through. It was whether or not they could actually manage the occasion. and for the first time, England actually passed the test in terms of managing mentality.
You're very happy about this.
I'm smiling.
You're smiling and crying too.
Listen. At the same time, it was a lot happening in that household yesterday, and I could only imagine every other household, because I realize now, living in America, there is a huge Mexican community here that was ready. They were ready for everything. And Latry, I think, gave absolutely everything. But at the same time, England really showcased that they have the fortitude here to actually win a World Cup. And that's always been the question mark.
Yeah, I think England needed a win like that. They haven't had the best performances. I've loved hearing Troy talk about England because he is on them, and rightfully so. And I think getting a really gritty win like that, especially when I would say like 98% of the world was saying that Mexico was going to win at the Azteca, at home, with the momentum that they have, the support behind them, how difficult it is to play there, and the momentum. And England finally got that. And I think there's a couple of teams in this tournament that have had to pull out gutsy wins, a man down as well, that you're going to look back on a match like that, and that's going to propel you forward. That gave them a different, sharper edge than they've had in a long time.
I think for me, it was the mentality before the game even started. The players were saying that the altitude wasn't going to affect us. The fact that we were at Azteca, 87,000 fans, 82 of them being Mexican fans, they tuned the noise out. And for me to be able to witness a team like that go into an environment where I've known it's very heavy and get the result, incredible.
Yeah, well, Rodney, you've played at the Estadio Azteca twice, haven't you? So
I played at the Azteca, been there at halftime with the oxygen mask. I know how hard it is to breathe, and they were a man down. And to be able to pull that off, I mean, incredible performance. Jude Bellingham in the first half, being able to not only get the goals, but also defend and get that ball off the goal line. I mean, man of the match for me.
Do you think this performance from England yesterday proved that they can win this World Cup?
I don't think there's ever been a question whether England could win the World Cup. The question mark has always been when England are tested or facing an opposition that gives them something to think about, could they step up in that moment? It's the mental side. It's never ever been the quality. It's not the players that's in that team. I mean, I could sit here and list you world-class players now. Harry Kane is as good as any number 9.
Cucurella, Rodri, Pedri, Yamal, Olmo, Baena and Oyarzabal. Spain are all white, playing from right to left as we look. Anthony Taylor, the English referee, gets us underway. Portugal are all in red. They have Costa in goal, Cancelo, Diaz, Vega and Mendes, Vitinha and João Neves, and then Bruno Fernandes, Neto, João Felix and Cristiano Ronaldo. 0-0. Second half, live on 5 Live. A reminder, you can watch this on BBC television and also watch and listen to the commentaries on 5 Live through the iPlayer and the BBC Sport website. As Spain lose the ball with Cucurella high up the pitch, and Neto now runs forward and he carries it over the halfway line, and he's faced by Laporte, comes to us almost to a standstill, passes the ball to Vitinha, helps it on its way to Bruno Fernandes. The cross is into the box. Cucurella got the shout from Unai Simon, leaves it, and it runs out for a goal kick. Chris Sutton.
Yeah, that was pretty much like the first half. Disappointment in the final third. What we do know is something has to give. Who's going to be a little bit braver? Who's going to try and dazzle in Dallas? I think both teams, final third, just have not connected. It's all a bit tense, isn't it?
No dazzling in Dallas. Instead, they were dozing in Dallas, because at half-time it was quite amusing with that giant TV screen when they had the fan cam. There was one young Portuguese supporter who was falling asleep, and then all of a sudden he realised with half an eye open that everybody was laughing at him. It also said as well that for the first time in World Cup history that this is a landmark game, that we've had 50 million supporters that have, through the attendance at this World Cup in Canada, the United States and Mexico. So there was a presentation to the 50th million supporter from Carlos Puyol and Pepe on the giant screen. 0-0, 5 Live. Far side with Spain. Back to Kubasi, just inside the penalty area. Unai Simon collects it, passes the ball to Laporte, left of the penalty area, under the closed roof here in Dallas. Almost given it away again, and then Ronaldo with a theatrical fall wins the free kick, And Anthony Taylor almost slaps his hands in and saying, well, what do you expect? As he went down on the thighs of the official, all in black. But he made the most of it, didn't he?
Yeah, it's a dive. I've seen him do this many times over the years, but did enough to con Anthony Taylor. That's the main thing. And here's an opportunity from Portugal. Maybe it's a set piece. Mentioned Austin McPhee. Got a bit of imagination, Portugal.
Portugal unbeaten in 9 games against Spain, who are protecting this long, undefeated record of 34 matches. 0-0. Free kick, though, to Portugal midway through the Spain half. Will it be Mendes with a left foot or Bruno Fernandes to curl it in? They both take an effort. It is Fernandes, and it goes straight down the throat of Unai Simon, who just throws the ball out in front of him towards that far side, but is quickly won back by Vitinha. João Neves. Bruno Fernandes now along the ground. Cancelo chips the ball into the penalty area rather than shooting, and chips it well off target and goes over the top of everybody's heads and out for a goal kick. João Cancelo, who was on loan at Barcelona, started all 4 previous matches before today, but is yet to complete 90 minutes so far for Portugal at this World Cup. 0-0.
Yeah, it actually wasn't the worst ball, was it? Stood up at the far post, but no, Felix on his heels. Oh, that was a dodgy old, that was a blind back pass from Dani Olmo, and Bruno Fernandes nearly read that. They've been sluggish, haven't they, Spain, at the start of this second half?
Well, this is Banner on the halfway line, now inside towards Pedri, who runs forward. He's got Oyarzabal ahead of him. Pedri passes the ball to Lamine Yamal. He's going to cut into that left foot and he just runs into Mendes. And then Mendes was fouled. I mean, that is a good contest between the two, but Mendes is not giving him anything at this stage.
No, he's not, and Yamal has been really quiet, hasn't he? You normally see him ripping fullbacks to shreds, but he just doesn't have the confidence and belief to, well, hasn't done so far, hasn't had it so far to go past Mendes. He just hesitates.
There's a reason why he's regarded as one of the world's best, Nuno Mendes of Paris Saint-Germain. 5 Live, BBC Sounds app. Rodri on the halfway line, out to this near side, Baena. Easily intercepted by Vitinha, who passes the ball forward, and because Cucurella, there's now a gap to exploit for Portugal with Pedro Neto. Enters the area right-hand side and fires over the cross. And it was arcing its way along the ground, but away from Cristiano Ronaldo. And it will go out for a throw.
Yeah, Cucurella up the pitch, allowed Pedro Neto to steam down the right-hand side, gets his head up, little step over, feeds the ball across. It's not a great ball. Felix and Ronaldo in the box for Portugal, but too much pace on the cross.
But again, that was the ambition from Spain, who was sending Cucurella forward. We've seen Mendes make many a run forward for Paris Saint-Germain. Remember him and Hakimi at times in the Champions League, but he's not been willing to get as far forward on this occasion because he knows the threat of Lamine Yamal.
Yeah, and I think that's, you know, by design. I'm sure Roberto would have, Roberto Martinez would have, you know, talked about the threat of Yamal, and we saw that one moment in the first half, didn't we, when he did go forward, and then Spain broke out and nearly scored that double save. Brilliant double save from Costa.
This is Vitinha. Passes the ball slightly behind Ronaldo. Cucurella read it well. He was coming into a central area, was the left back. As Kubasi finds Olmo. Olmo just drifts into a little bit of space over the halfway line. And Yamal now goes on the outside of Mendes. And Yamal's done well. He enters the box. He looks for the cutback, and running back was the right back, Cancelo, who right-footed clears the ball out of play for a throw. Guillem's just actually passed me a note that said that Lamine Yamal has already gone on record as saying that Mendes is one of the toughest defenders he's ever come up against.
Yeah, I just worry for Mendes. He's back on his feet now, but that was brilliant from Yamal. It really was. Mendes showed him the right-hand side, and Yamal said, you know what, I'm going to take it, and he did, and he burst through and went past Mendes. First time that's happened. Well, 52 minutes.
Chris Sutton is with us on BBC Radio 5 Live. Also available through the Sounds app. 0-0, 7.5 minutes into the second half. Olmo, controlled layoff by Oyarzabal. Rodri passes the ball out to this near side. Cucurella finds Alex Baena back in field then towards Rodri, able to turn. No pressure on the ball for the Spanish captain. Kubasi now, the central defender, can run forward. Midway through the Portuguese half, goes out wide. Porro. Little ball inside, the link up there with Porro, but there was a stumble from Porro. Portugal have it with Bruno Fernandes running forward. The only player ahead of him is João Felix. Ronaldo wants it played back to him. He was standing about 6 yards behind Bruno Fernandes. He runs forward, goes through two Spanish players, dives forward. Anthony Taylor says they got the ball, and the move breaks down for Portugal.
In that situation, Ian, you want your central striker, Ronaldo, as Mendes is down again, you want him marauding forward, making a run for Bruno Fernandes to slide a ball through. I mentioned the earlier duel, Yamal and Mendes went down, and shake of the head now. Now this is a concern, isn't it?
Well, you detected that there was a problem straight away, hadn't you?
Yeah, I'm no medical expert, but he was down for a while, wasn't he? And truth is that nobody can replace him. Just gets back and gets a bit on the cross from Yamal and overstretches.
But the shake of the head from Nuno Mendes didn't look good. It was almost one of like a resigned look.
Yeah, absolutely.
From the 23-year-old defender.
And you could imagine Yamal thinking, blimey, not nice to see a fellow pro go off, but he wouldn't mind to see the back of him.
Well, he's being helped to his feet. Is Nuno Mendes. The two physios will walk off to that far side as well. Can't see whether if there's any activity down below, because of our vantage point is obscured. As Emmitt Smith from the Pro Football Hall of Fame is shown on the giant screen, and he takes actually to his feet to acknowledge the acclaim.
Yep, enjoyed watching him over the years, Emmitt Smith.
Yeah. Who does he play for?
Dallas.
Well, he did actually, yeah, but he's a former player.
Yeah, but of course, yeah.
So how many seasons did he play for the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, he was in the dock, the Dallas dock. Did you not watch that? Jerry Jones? No?
You still haven't answered my question.
You not watch that?
50.
I think 15.
50. Somebody's just said that in your ear. Anyway, he's not able to continue. Gibbs also just said that whilst we were just having a little chat there about Emmitt Smith, that Lamine Yamal went to shake the hand of Nuno Mendes as Nelson Semedo comes on to replace him. Yet to start, the former Wolves man. This is his fourth substitute appearance, though, so far in this tournament here in the United States, Canada and Mexico. 11 minutes into the second half. So Semedo is now playing at left back. I did wonder whether they might switch Cancelo and play Semedo as the right back.
I think Semedo, in fairness, is a bit more athletic than Cancelo. It's one of those. I mean, De La Fuente didn't, hasn't. He didn't get a lot of joy, Yamal, did he, out of Nuno Mendes? But he didn't swap sides and let him try out Cancelo.
Sporting round of applause as a rather disconsolate Nuno Mendes makes his way in front of the stand that we're sitting in here, as again he came on that the giant screen that dominates this stadium as soon as you walk into it. Air-conditioned stadium, roof closed, Portugal 0, Spain 0, and a familiar feeling of these two teams level. In that Nations League final a year ago, Portugal twice came from behind to draw 2-2 before beating Spain on penalties in Munich. As Costa floats the ball forward, flicked on by the head of João Felix, strikes the head of Ronaldo. Offside. Free kick to Spain. Rodri takes it, finds Pedri just outside the centre circle, but still in the Spain half. Looks for Olmo making the run through the middle, one bounce, and it's into the arms of Costa. Chris.
Yeah, just not on point there. Pedri, the forward run from from Olmo. Haven't seen runs in behind from him too many times, but it's just not clicking from Spain.
Game against Austria, Luis de los Fuentes didn't really make any changes until 19 minutes remaining when Torres and Marino came on. Thinking about how Portugal may have responded in that game against Croatia, it was around the hour mark when Ramos, Semedo and Conceição all came on after 63 minutes. Still goalless, 5 live here in Dallas. João Neves forward ball, Bruno Fernandes with a layoff, Semedo runs forward, the left back for the injured Mendes.
He's a right footer, isn't he, Semedo? Right footed left back, but so they'll lack a little bit of balance on that side now.
Left Molineux for a fresh challenge, went to Fenerbahce after 182 appearances at Molineux. João Felix makes the run to the left-hand side of the area, comes back outside the box, chips the ball forward. Ronaldo, it was going away from him, and he managed to dangle a right leg. Not too sure there was a great deal of communication between he and Pedro Neto. And in the end, it was a rather tame effort that didn't pose any problems whatsoever for Unai Simon.
Yeah, teammates in Saudi, the cross from the left-hand side. And Ronaldo, yeah, just stretching, directing the effort down, but easy for the goalkeeper.
Portugal haven't beaten Spain over 90 minutes since a 4-0 win in a friendly in 2010. There have been 7 games since then. Only 1 win in 9. Haven't got a good record against Spain. However, Spain would not want this to go to penalty shootouts. Not in a World Cup. Their record's dreadful. 1 win in 5. Although we've still got a lot of time to navigate before we get to that. Another hour of football with 30 more minutes remaining in the second half, and then of course the 30 minutes of extra time. But we're still waiting for the deadlock to be broken in Dallas. As Kubasi passes the ball out wide to Yamal, still yet to have an opportunity to run at Semedo. Portugal have dropped off. Everybody bar Ronaldo is behind the ball. This is Kubasi along the ground towards Yamal. Is this the chance to try and test Semedo? Tries to squeeze the ball into the run of Porro. Felix, they're doubled up on him, and in fact there's adjudged to have been a foul there on João Felix, and that will be a free kick to Portugal.
Yeah, Felix does well actually, doubling up every opportunity. Did it when Mendes was on, but defending well. The issue Portugal have got is if they do win the ball back, they can have a quick break at all.
Rodri, early ball, finds Olmo. Olmo, edge of the area. Back it goes now. This is Pedri with a shot. Took a deflection on its way through. Vega just threw himself in front of it. And it's gone behind for a corner kick, 0-0.
Yeah, it's a brilliant block from Vega, who celebrates. It's a thing now, isn't it? Defenders celebrating. Olmo, quick shift of the feet. And then Pedri goes for power. 18, 20 yards out centrally. And Vega gets out. Can they work something, Spain, from this corner?
Alex Baena to take the corner kick. Headed out at the near post. Only is cleared as far as Yamal, who volleys that. That will go behind off a deflection off a red shirt behind for another corner kick. 61.5 minutes played. Portugal 0, Spain 0 here. And Baena once again is going to take this corner on this near side, the left. Olmo is available should he want the short option. As a result, it means that João Neves is just keeping an eye on Dani Olmo. In fact, they're also going to bring another player as well to curb that. Baena then swings it over. Good take by Costa. Assured handling.
We haven't seen that too much at the World Cup. Goalkeepers catching the ball. It's been a rarity. That was good goalkeeping. Really decisive, coming and collecting under a bit of pressure there, Costa.
Manuel Neuer at fault for Germany when he opted to punch rather than to catch the ball. Although Orlando Gil, the Paraguayan keeper, I thought handled the ball very, very well when they were playing either against Germany or indeed when they played against France as the ball is spread out for Portugal to Cancelo on this near side. Runs in field, passes the ball forward. João Neves now towards Neto. Back to João Neves. Spain deal with it. This is Olmo. Just got caught up a little bit, and as he turned, he lost the ball. Vitinha infield to Bruno Fernandes. Back towards Vitinha. Bruno Fernandes takes over. Caught in possession. He's lost it. In fact, it was adjudged to have been a foul, though a free kick, Anthony Taylor says, to Portugal, about 10 yards forward of the centre circle. 63 minutes played, 0-0.
Yeah, I've got to tell you, I've been in this stadium numerous times for the World Cup. This is the quietest I think it's ever been. Just need a moment for this stadium to liven up and the game to liven up.
You wouldn't believe that in the 5 tiers, wherever you look inside this futuristic stadium, that there are about 70,000 people inside it. The majority seem to be wearing red, whether that's the red of Spain or the red of Portugal. There's only one more game left to be played, and that's the semi-final on July the 14th. It's hosted more games than any other venue here in Dallas. Still awaiting. I think there's only been something like 7 goalless draws throughout the whole tournament. What's this? This is the 93rd game.
But when you look at the talent on show, I think we would have expected a lot more from both teams. And it's all a little bit negative, all a little bit slow.
Pedri finds Rodri on the halfway line, back to Laporte. Passes the ball inside towards Kubasi. Rodri will pass it back to the teenage central defender. His forward ball to Pedri, being tracked by Vitinha. And following him all the way back midway through his own half. And then Kubasi outside the Davies penalty area to Unai Simon. Bruno Fernandes was the one who was cutting out the ball back towards Kubasi. Unai Simon goes long, headed forward by Vega. Olmo with a challenge on Vitinha. Bouncing ball picked up by Yamal. Olmo is to his right. Instead he goes to the left. He finds Baena, edge of the area, couldn't thread it through. Blocked by Cancelo. Then they lose it to Portugal. And the shot from Baena, left-footed. Costa makes the save. Hasn't been too many instances in that second half where the keepers have been stretched, but it was comfortable in the end for Costa.
Really comfortable. Baena on his weaker left foot swivelling and getting the shot off. Just a bit more direct there, Spain. Ball into it, Yazabel, and then winning the second ball.
Here is Baena, being tracked by Cancelo. Wonder who'll blink first in terms of the coaches as to when they make a tactical change, as we're 65 minutes in. Pedri passes the ball out wide. This is Yamal. They've doubled up on him. Looks for the run of Porro on the inside. Porro plays it in early. And Cancelo once again is tucked into clear high and out of play for a throw on that far side. Goalless.
Do you know what? It's a brilliant ball in. Underlap from Porro, fizzes it across, and Cucurella, lazy, the Spanish left back, on his heels, wandering into the box. That would have been an incredible opportunity. Just gamble there, get yourself in between the sticks.
Laporte coming forward with the ball. Oyarzabal, Rodri, Cucurella along the ground, out to the left side. Baena passing the ball swiftly of Spain. Approaching the midway point of the second half, and it remains 0-0. As Yamal gets it on that far side, the right. Semedo back pedals. Yamal comes on the inside. Anthony Taylor says that was a dive by Lamine Yamal.
Got to say, it looked like there was contact there, didn't it?
It did. Here is Rodri. Baena drops into a central and deep area of that Portuguese midfield. Cucurella provides the width near side the left. They go out towards Yamal. Now he's starting to get the ball a little bit more. And as a result, Felix is having to drop back and help out Semedo to double up on him. As Rodri. Baena at the minute has gone very, very central. Oyarzabal has dropped off. Diaz and Vega are wondering who they're going to have to try and pick up here. Cucurella is out on this near side. Spain having the greater share of the possession of the ball, but at the minute still can't find a way through. 67 minutes we've played here in Dallas. This is Baena once again in that central area. Runs at the heart of the Portuguese defence. Baena looks towards Oyarzabal, bounces clear and picked up by Neto. And Felix can't control the ball.
Yeah, Baena on the drift, and Pedri had made the forward run. Baena, there we go, another.
As they play all in white from right to left.
Yeah, and you wonder, how is that not a yellow card? He's driving into the box, he's pulled back. Yamal, I think Yamal saying, holding his hand up, gesturing to Anthony Taylor, come on, that's worthy of a booking.
So this free kick for Spain, right corner of the box. Portugal have got every red shirt inside their own penalty area. And there's a real conflab going on that far side. Oyarzabal, Baena, Yamal. It's Going to be Yamal, I think, as they walk away and leave it to the teenage sensation.
The important thing here, Ian, is runners across the goalkeeper's eye line.
Yamal waits, runs up now, hits it left-footed, and it's tipped over. It was on target, might have dipped as well, a bit of deviation there, and Costa was taking no chances with a one-handed save behind for a corner kick.
Yeah, I mean, he could maybe catch that, but maybe too much pace on the ball. He doesn't take any chances, pops it over his bar.
He has been the busier of the two goalkeepers. Baena with a corner kick, and that's clawed away on this occasion by Costa. Semedo will run out that far side, and he will clear. Bouncing ball that Porro will have all the time in the world to control, and in the end decides to go back to Unai Simon. 73 minutes played, still here in Dallas, still awaiting the first goal of this last 16 game. A reminder that Portugal have won just one of 12 competitive meetings with Spain. They've drawn 6, they've lost 5. That was in the group stages at Euro 2004 when they won by a 1-0. The way this game's going, just the one goal will settle this latest competitive match between these two Iberian nations. Back it goes to Vega. Central defender to Costa, out of his penalty area. Luminous goalkeeping outfit, downfield. Porro underneath it will let it run through towards Unai Simon.
Ronaldo there doesn't work hard to get back onside to give Costa a player to hit.
Just looking back to see when the latest change that De La Fuente has made as the ball is passed forward towards Yamal, and Yamal runs at Semedo, and he passes the ball looking for Baena, but it was easily intercepted by Dalot. Dalot's forward ball to Neto, out to Leao, an opportunity for Leao, who can be raw, talented, tricky, but enigmatic at times. Dalot is forward, and Fernandes has found his Manchester United teammate. Coming back to help out was Baena, and it will be a Spain throw on this near side here in Dallas. Ferran Torres is going to be coming on, so that answers the question when they were going to make a change for De La Fuente. Ferran Torres, 5 appearances, just the 1 start against Cape Verde, the 3 or 4 substitute appearances since. He replaces Baena as Leao tries to get away from Porro. Passes the ball forward to Ronaldo. Flag stays down. Coutinho's shot charged down, might fall to Bruno Fernandes, who lashes it into the side netting. Right-footed. Inside right channel of the box. Goal kick.
Yeah, and a bit of noise in the stadium now. Now that ball stayed hit, not an easy one for Bruno Fernandes, has the ability to score from there, but he thumps the ball, it's going over his shoulder, lets the ball drop and thumps it, angle against him. Lashes it into the side netting.
Ferran Torres goes in pursuit of the ball as it's at the feet of Costa, the Portuguese goalkeeper. Semedo under pressure from Yamal, turns around up towards Leao. Ooh, that gives it straight back towards Yamal, does Leao. This is Olmo, 25 yards out. Route to goal was blocked by João Neves. Olmo once again. Patient play by Spain. This is Pedri, central position. Goes back to where he was coming from and passes it back out towards the right. Little touch from Rodri. Olmo at a walking pace. Kubasi just outside the centre circle. By my watch, 13 minutes remain of normal time and it's still 0-0. This is Rodri. Everybody now for Portugal is back behind the ball. Pedri.
Got to keep moving the ball quicker. Too many touches from the Spanish midfield. It just allows Portugal to block off those passing lanes.
Ball chipped over the top to Ferran Torres, who slides to try and hit it goalwards, but it was always going behind and off target for it out for a goal kick. 0-0, Chris.
Yeah, a bit of space in behind, and Torres drifting off the left-hand side into a central area. Just can't quite keep it in.
They take the goal kick short, and Costa then, what a waste. Goes straight down the middle, and no wonder that Pedro Neto puts his arms out. Who's that to?
Well, but he's got nothing to hit. You know, the one before that, Ronaldo's wandering back. He's in an offside position, doesn't show. He's your big central striker. You need him to get you up the pitch, but he doesn't want to get involved in that.
Like day and night, the contrast when you watch Messi and Ronaldo. That's a nice turn by Ferran Torres. Cucurella. Pedri goes short and square. Rodri, forward ball. Oyarzabal drops off. Oyarzabal now finds Olmo. Olmo with a turn. There's a man over. Olmo might not need him. The block came in from Ruben Diaz and diverts the ball behind for a corner kick.
Yeah, sharper Spain. The ball fizzed in from Oyarzabal. And Danny Olmo, that's a brilliant block. Not sure who quite blocked it, but spin just up inside the box. I think it's Ruben Diaz who blocked it, and he thumped a right-footed shot. Crucial block from Diaz.
Corner kick to Spain. Full house here in Dallas, 70,649. In comes the corner kick. Costa can only get one hand to it as he falls to the ground. Quickly back to his feet. Rodri picks it up, sends over the cross. Costa opts to punch this occasion. There's a Spanish player actually gone down, holding his head inside the penalty area away towards our left. Laporte only now back to his feet as Ferran Torres makes a good run, cuts the ball back. And ironically, Laporte was walking away, holding his head from where the ball was cut back to.
Well, they're surrounding the referee, the Spanish players. I wonder whether they're thinking there's some sort of foul on Laporte, but you're right, only one player in the middle. It's similar to the area where Porro crossed the ball on that right byline. And there are no takers, nobody gambling. I think are they asking for a handball there from Vega, and that cross came in.
Corner kick to Spain, still 0-0, just over 10 minutes remaining. Spain corner kick, Yamal to take it. Comes out only, I was going to say to Ferran Torres. Rodri got there first. In fact, there was use of a hand, says Anthony Taylor, and that'll be a free kick to Portugal. Yeah, I think when Laporte was walking away, rubbing his head, the only other player who was inside the penalty area was the other central defender, Kubasi.
Yeah, I mean, Torres, really good run and pull back. You have a couple of players in the box. It's an easy tap in. They just haven't been brave enough, have they, Spain?
Going to make a double change. Roberto Martinez, Francisco Conceição is going to be coming on. 3 substitute appearances so far for Portugal. And also, we are going to see Bernardo Silva coming on, and he will be moving into the top 5 of the all-time appearance list for Portugal. Currently level with Nani, but this will be his 113th appearance. Takes him outright into that top 5. Of course, Cristiano Ronaldo well ahead with tonight his 233rd appearance, as here he is passing the ball back to Dalot, just inside his own half. And from a position of where they're midway through the Spanish half, they go back, and now they're midway through their own half, building from the back once more. Leao, with his pace, decides to run at Porro, goes on the outside. Leao delivers a cross, but Porro recovers and gets something on it. Takes a lot of the pace off the ball, and it's picked up by Unai Simon.
Yeah, but I like that from Leao, just a bit more direct, a bit of thrust. Getting to the byline and pulling the ball back. Portugal, not enough players in the box.
Olmo, able to turn to run forward. This is Pedri. Oyarzabal, I think deliberately, is just dropping off to find some space away from the central defenders, and as a result he passes the ball out towards Yamal, back towards Oyarzabal. Rather than shooting, though, he looked for a forward ball that I'm not sure who his intended recipient was going to be. Leao, forward towards Bruno Fernandes. Ronaldo had already set off on the run. Bruno Fernandes couldn't find him, but nevertheless on this occasion Ronaldo puts the thumbs up, because they were then on the right wavelength.
Yeah, that was good once again from Leao, wasn't it, on the left-hand side? Actually driving the Spanish right back as here come another couple of changes.
Pedro Neto is going to make way for Conceição. So the Chelsea player is substituted with 8 minutes remaining. And then the other change is Vitinha, who is still yet to score for Portugal. That's his 43rd appearance today. Bernardo Silva comes on, his 4th appearance at this World Cup, Bernardo Silva. So they've still got the guile in the midfield.
Yeah, and the pace now out. Well, Neto's sharp enough, but fresh legs, Conceição out on the right-hand side, little lefty. He is rapid, and Bernardo Silva, you're right. What a brilliant football brain, got that guile.
How would you describe, if you walked into your local in Norfolk and someone said, oh, you were at the game today, not that you'd be able to do that if you're in Dallas, I know, before you come up with a funny answer, but if you were to describe the game as Leao goes forward on that far side, the left, how would you do it?
It's been dull, hasn't it? It's been dull in Dallas. That's what it has been. It's just what's disappointing is, you know, the quality of player on show, but they just haven't delivered. Then the question is, I thought, I said before, but the game kicked off, Spain can go, they can go on and win the World Cup. It wouldn't be a great surprise to anybody, but have they been overcautious today? I think they have. I think Portugal are just carrying the centre forward, and that's the issue.
More changes in the offing. That's Chris Sutton here on BBC Radio 5 Live, and it's going to be a double change. We're going to see Fabian Ruiz and Mikel Merino coming on for Spain. Still 0-0, 6 minutes remaining. Been a number of late goals at this World Cup. This is still very much a slow burner, isn't it?
Absolutely is. So, will the benches of both teams make a difference? Portugal look better with Leao, as Pedri's one of the Spanish players to come off.
But he's being replaced by a talisman, because Fabian Ruiz has never lost since making his debut for Spain since 2019. And Dani Olmo is also coming off. So Fabian Ruiz for Pedri, Dani Olmo makes way for Mikel Merino. With 5 minutes remaining of normal time. 0-0. Dalot's lost the ball for Portugal. Lamine Yamal picks it up, central area, midway through his own half, and goes on a strong run. Holds off the challenge of João Neves. Ball passed back in field. Rodri, Lamine Yamal switches it to this near side. This is Fabian to the edge of the area, sends over a cross that looped in the air and was caught by Costa.
I think it took a deflection. I do feel that something may happen around Yamal, though. Lovely balance, hasn't he, and poise when he's running with the ball.
Ball over the top to Conceição, headed away by that mop of hair by Cucurella. Did well, backpedaling, had to get that right, otherwise Conceição was in on goal. Rodri back to the defender who'll be playing for Real Madrid next year, formerly of Chelsea. This is Laporte, short and forward to Fabian. Laid off by Torres. Cucurella's over the halfway line. Making the run forward is Merino. Oyarzabal there on the stretch will play the ball back to Porro. Quite a high line that Portugal have got now at this stage. We're into the last knockings of this game here in Dallas, and it still remains 0-0 in normal time. This is Laporte. And then Kubasi goes all the way back to Unai Simon. Portugal now press out, and that rear line is almost now on the halfway line.
And Kubasi there. I'm sure his manager, Dennis Fuente, wants him to play forward, not take the easy option.
Merino able to turn and run with the ball forward for Spain. Then comes to a standstill. Fabian to Rodri. 35 yards out from goal. Goes to his right for Pedro Porro. Yamal is level with the penalty area far side. Torres makes the run into the right channel of the penalty area, looks for a shooting opportunity. And by holding on to the ball, that opportunity soon diminished.
Yeah, Spain want to walk it in, don't they? He's actually made some good movements, Torres, drifting across the pitch, but it's very unlike Spain to, for their players not to be in sync, not to be on the same page, the same wavelength. But that's been the story of the game so far. Imagine Spain going out. What a limp performance.
And give us an insight into Oyarzabal, who we talked about ahead of the game, because as Portugal are attacking with Dalot on the inside, Conceição couldn't control it. Marino picks it out. He seems to be dropping a little bit deeper away from the two central defenders, Oyarzabal.
Yeah, he's gonna...
Yellow card has just been shown by Anthony Taylor. That was Bernardo Silva on Marino.
Yeah, little Silva boshing Marino over. He's saying, that was my first one. Wasn't enough zest in that challenge for a yellow to be awarded. Oyarzabal just coming shorter. Hasn't really been in the game, been extremely quiet. He'll say, well, I'm not getting the service, and I get that, but not playing up against the centre-halves. Trying to come short and link the play, and then it's important that Spain get the runners in and around him to support him.
Unai Simon hits it long. Vega beats Oyarzabal in the air. Diaz with a header was read by Porro, who went into that challenge. Laporte with a header back towards Unai Simon. Flag had stayed down as well as Cristiano Ronaldo tried to nip in. Here is Rodri. If you can bear it, I think we're going to have another extra 30 minutes of extra time here, because these two sides not exactly slugging it out. But we are going to find out how much added time there will be before extra time if there isn't a goal to be scored. 0-0 it remains. Yamal picks it up on that far side. Semedo stands in front of him. Torres, Porro, triangular patterns from Spain. Back then with Kabasi. Portugal have got everybody back behind the ball. Spain are trying to find a way through. Been a lack of goalmouth activity in this second half. That was a foul on Marino. He's taken it quickly. He's knocked it towards Fabian. Fabian back inside to Rodri. Early ball to Ferran Torres. They've unlocked the defence this time, and they've won it. Mikel Merino. He delivered the goal of the Euros in the quarter-finals 2 years ago, and he has just sent Spain through to the last stage of the World Cup. They unlocked the Portuguese defence in the last minute, and surely to extend this long unbeaten run to 35 games. Their patience in the end paid off. There's the trademark celebration, just as he did in Stuttgart 2 years ago, to run around the corner flag. Spain lead 1-0.
Yeah, but it's brilliant from Marino, magnificent from Marino. He took the quick free kick, and then the reverse pass from Ferran Torres is delicious. Marino follows his run on, and he just composes himself, has a little look, assesses the situation, and beats Costa at his near post. It's just a bit of positive play. Quick play, sharp play. Portugal switch off. And now Portugal in big, big trouble. They've stuttered, haven't they, Spain, this afternoon? But it's all about finding a way. And that's that little bit of class, the ball and the finish, the bench doing the job.
But I think ultimately the only team that has looked like wanting to win this game, they have carried Ronaldo, Portugal. Been really disappointed with them, and with a whimper, Ronaldo will be bowing out of the World Cup.
Yeah, but well, there's only one man to blame for that, and that's the gutless manager. I mean, Ramos came off the bench to win the game for them against Croatia, and yet You see him staying on the bench, just bowing down to Ronaldo.
6 minutes of additional time. Spain are leading by a goal to nil, and still they are yet to concede. All of a sudden, there is a lot more urgency from Portugal as Porro attacks that crossfield ball and heads it before it can reach Leao and out for the far side. They undid the Portuguese defence 2 or 3 occasions in the first half, couldn't take the chances. Haven't necessarily played with as that much penetration in the second half, but they did on that occasion. And Mikel Merino, who was the joint top scorer for Spain in qualifying with 6 goals.
Brilliant.
Popped up with a winner.
Yeah, and there's the brilliance of Yamal taking a bit of pressure off his team. Drifting past Vega. Vega pulls him back, gets a card in the process. But you know, you said now we're going to see a bit of urgency from Portugal. Where has that urgency been? It takes for them to go a goal down.
Vega books, along with Bernardo Silva for Portugal. I just think that if you're going to go out of a tournament, you want to go down fighting. You want to go down swinging.
Exactly that.
Here is Leao. You remember they salvaged a injury time winner against Croatia. Can they get an injury time equaliser here against Spain? Leao passes the ball back. Semedo delivers the cross. Headed away. Picked up by Bernardo Silva. By my watch, 2 minutes remain of injury time. This now is Conceição. On the inside, Bruno Fernandes with a cross over the head of Ronaldo. It'll be kept alive, though, by Leao on that far side, the left. Far too late, surely, for Portugal. Leao back towards Semedo. Hassled and harried by Yamal. He manages to wriggle free. Semedo comes inside now to Ruben Dias.
He's been the only one, hasn't he? Leao to show a bit of oomph.
Leao with a cross. It was an awkward one. It was dropping. It required Kubasi to stoop and head it into the ground, and then cleared by Porro. All the way as far as Costa. 90 seconds remaining of added time. Bruno Fernandes. Dias helps it out to this near side, the right. This is Conceição. Back to Bruno Fernandes from a deep position. He runs forward with the ball, away from Oyarzabal. Vega. Dias, the 2 central defenders. Oyarzabal putting pressure on Vega, who chips it long out towards the far side. And in between 2 dispirited players, it drops out for a throw. And I think that just sums up Portugal.
Yeah, not brave enough. I mean, they're going out of the World Cup with an absolute whimper. And this is all on the manager. It really is. Spain haven't been at the best. But this is last chance now for Portugal. 20 seconds.
Penny for the thoughts of Ramos, thinking, why have I not been able to come onto the field of play to try and change the course of it for Portugal, as Leao just scoops the ball back towards Semedo. The 6 minutes, the minimum time, is almost over. Ball is out towards Conceição on this near side, the right. Conceição comes inside, chips the ball in! Over the top. And that was Bernardo Silva, who had got into a great scoring position. Yeah. And he's headed it over the top from close range.
He's him and his former teammate Rodri having a pop at each other there. Conceição left-footed. Oh, Silva, little Silva, he gets up brilliantly, Ian. In the centre of the goal, it's just a bit high for him. It's inches over the crossbar, but it's all too late, isn't it?
It is all too late. Had that fallen to Ronaldo, as Spain are going to make a late change. Borja Iglesias is going to be coming on for his first appearance at his first World Cup in injury time to replace Oyarzabal.
Why would you make the change then? It just adds, I mean, that was 6 minutes. at a time, wasn't it? We're 7 now. Why did he make a sub?
Well, he's 6'2". He'll offer a physical presence up front, but he will also help out at the back as well, should it come to it. As there he goes, good old target man chasing after it, plays for Celta Vigo. The clock keeps on ticking, 7.5 minutes at the minimum of 6. It's surely got to go long. The Spanish journalists in front of us are baying for Anthony Taylor to blow his whistle. Thing is, though, if you bring on a substitution...
Well, that was my whole point.
You are going to extend the time.
That was the point. How daft was that from De La Fuente?
Still we play on. Still Spain lead Portugal by a goal to 0. And there was a foul on Conceição. It's like a sandwich between Ferran Torres and Cucurella. Torres is shown the yellow card.
Yeah, guess what? Spain are causing themselves their own problem. This will be it. This has to be it. The Spanish have allowed another ball into the box, and here goes Costa.
Diogo Costa, the goalkeeper, is running into the penalty area. This needs a good delivery. So a minimum of 6 minutes. We're now into the 8.5 minutes. Bruno Fernandes or Conceição to deliver it. Bruno Fernandes, right-footed, and it flashes wide. It was João Neves who tried to get on the end of it. There is the full-time whistle. Portugal are out. Cristiano Ronaldo, his last ever appearance at the World Cup finals, his 6th and final World Cup finals, his 12th consecutive appearance at a major tournament, ends in defeat in the last 16 as Spain advance to the last 8 through Mikel Merino. 35 matches undefeated. They've equalled their longest ever run, and Spain have created history because for the first time ever in the history of the World Cup, Spain have kept 6 successive clean sheets. They remain the team to beat.
They do. Stingy Spain. Not conceded a goal. They weren't as fluent as they would have liked to have been, but it's all about getting the job done in knockout football and finding a way, and they did do. The bench did the job in the end. Lovely ball from Torres, the finish magnificent from Merino. Little bit of sharp play which it lacked in the final third. But Portugal go out with a whimper.
Back at the highlights too much after that because there weren't too many, but in the end I think that the right team won, didn't they, Janelli? They had that extra bit of quality.
Definitely. Spain was the better team, not just because of the way they maintained the ball and took care of the ball. They had quality chances, and it's wonderful that you have players that can come off the bench and absolutely make a difference. What Merino did at minute 90 was just impressive. It's exactly what Spain needed, and Portugal on the other side, the subs that they made didn't make a difference. They didn't make Portugal more dangerous. I expected much more from this Portugal side. I was a bit underwhelmed with, I think, every single player on the pitch. I think also Mendes coming off early because of that injury. I think it did have a bit of an impact. But there's no excuses with the quality that they have in these players. There was no excuses for them today.
First of all, credit to Spain. I still think they haven't even hit the highest gear that they have yet. One of the criticisms for me about Spain is that they want to be so perfect in front of goal. They want to find the perfect pass, the perfect moment. They want to score from the 6. Merino, for me, makes the difference also because he's got a nose for goal. So that's the Spain side of it. The Portugal side of it, and we make jokes, and when people say, oh, you make up these narratives about Ronaldo, it's a real shame. It's a real shame that Roberto Martinez didn't have a big enough personality, a big enough put his feet down and say, I have to do what's best for the team. He didn't do what's best for the team. That's 100% fact. If you tell me that if I'm managing or whatever, and you tell me I got a player for you, don't tell me his name. Don't tell me what he did. Don't tell me the trophies that he won. Just tell me I got a player coming into this World Cup who's 41 years old, who has played in Saudi the last couple of years, and you've got a striker on the bench that just went to Milan for who's played in some of the trophies that he won. Just tell me I got a player coming into this World Cup who's 41 years old, who has played in Saudi the last couple of years, and you've got a striker on the bench that just went to Milan for 75 million, who scored the game winner last game, by the way, that you didn't put into the game. If you said I got this player, 41 years old from Saudi, that's been playing Saudi, I would say no, thank you. I don't want to know the name. I don't want to know what he did. I don't want to know how many goals he scored. That's not the best for Portugal right now.
And add to that list, the minute something doesn't go his way, what are the faces he's pulling on camera? I mean,
but let's put that aside, right? Because he's got this unbelievable standards that he sets for himself, right? Yeah. And he's not going to go to the bench and say, I'm 41, let me stay on the side. But at 41 years old, you got a guy, Ramos, who scores goals, who's more mobile. We spoke to Gaisca before, the Mendieta, before the game. We said, who would you rather play against? Would you rather play against Ronaldo or Ramos? He was like, thank God Ramos not playing. Yeah. Thank God it's Ronaldo. And he played 90 minutes. It was not good. He was not good. He doesn't give you anything. So for me, it's a shame. If I'm a Portugal fan, I'm upset. I'm not upset at me for calling out the elephant in the room. I'm upset at the decisions Roberto Martinez made. And for me, it's a sackable offense, the decisions he made this tournament.
Well, he's leaving anyway.
So,
yeah, but again, I've said it before, just go real quick on that and then back to the Spain piece of it. I think this is legacy tainted for Roberto Martinez. You've had a golden generation at Portugal, you've had a golden generation at Belgium, and you've got nothing to show for it. And he might be a nice guy, might be a great coach and all of those things, but it comes down to, can you make the harsh decisions? And unfortunately, he hasn't been able to do that. Again, whether you take Ronaldo off or whether you leave him on, you can't have a striker who just scored not come into the pitch when you're chasing it, a game. So for me, that's that. But I think Spain, on the Spain piece of it, I think they're a nice team to play against. And the more I watch them, the more I think, okay, from an England point of view, if we had to play Spain, let's say it was a final against Spain, I'd say I'll fancy our chances. Yes, they can move the ball really well, but actually very one-dimensional. Go out to Lamine Yamal all the time and hope he can do something on the left-hand side.